I got to thank you on behalf of Italians. We don't have a lot of really clever, smart representation.
Whew,
I feel
what
like
a way to put it.
in the world of it, like my family, like especially like their sense of humor was like, "Hey, you're real doo-doo." You know what I'm saying?
I'm a do.
Oh, me too. But my uncle, it's one of those things where I'm sure you get this all the time. But we've worked together
It
five
was you.
times.
I remember your face. I
Yeah,
knew
there
I
you
knew
go.
something.
We were just sitting in the green room waiting to go on, and Jay and the Americans was on PBS. They were doing a thing, and we were both just like, this guy can still sing.
He's my favorite.
Oh, he's incredible. He was
Really? I
so
was
good,
kidding.
man. That was a
I'd like
great
to be
one.
a crooner. That's what I want now that we talked about it. Ba ba ba
Oh
ba
yeah,
boo.
is that?
Ba boo ba da be da ba da ba da. That's nice, huh?
Do you mind if I play the intro and then we kind of start the whole thing?
Not happy about it, but I'll do it.
Dystopia tonight.
Fuck out of town! Fucking treasonous pieces of shit!
Dystopia tonight.
Ta-da! That was
Wow.
it. What'd you think?
I'm ready to dance. I think it said a lot, that video.
It did. Yeah. I started this during the pandemic, so I just wanted to take kind of everything that we had been going through, shove it into a 30-second clip, and then leave it behind so we could kind of fuck around.
Thank you. On behalf of the
You're welcome.
people that love you. I know that when that sentence, I get it a lot, but I was a kid when I used to watch you. I was 3 years old. I think you were 45 years old. Yeah.
Right.
What's the
Yeah,
alternative? Am I right? What's the alternative here?
no, you're absolutely right. That's absolutely correct. But who was like when you were a kid, was comedy something that you were like, which I know you've gotten this question a lot, I'm sure, and everybody kind of has who does this kind of thing. But like I always want to know what people wanted to be when they were younger. Like cuz I can't imagine it was always stand up. Did you have a passion when you were a kid
Yes, it
that you
was always
like?
stand up.
It was always stand up. That's
It
beautiful.
wasn't. It was always being funny. It was like
Mm.
Gene Blazing Saddles. Gene Heck, what's his name?
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, those guys. Wilder, and they made me laugh. Dom DeLuise. Oh, those guys are so fucking funny. They're
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
But Woody Allen was my favorite. He's so
The best.
Italian. He's such a guinea, huh? I think he was beaten up by a lot of Italians because he puts them in there and they're always those goombas, you know.
Yeah, it's a fear thing. He adds them into their movies. It's not friendship, it's fear.
It's probably true. I bet something happened to him but he is brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah. He is. He's absolutely brilliant. Every movie, man, is like I just saw one he did with Wallace Shawn. I don't remember the name of it, but did you see that one?
No.
Where he's the film. It's just every time he puts out a movie, man, it's like a little nugget of it's like a kind of like a thing you can see into the future of what it's going to be like when you're old, each stage of life. I'm like, oh my god, is that really going to be how it is? And it's kind of like, yeah, so far he hasn't been wrong.
Yeah. He said to me one time, really like your work, man. He didn't look me. He looked me in the shoulder. You know, he's kind of shy. But two people said stuff like that really impressed me. Made me feel great. It was him and the guy who did the Odd Couple.
Oh, Neil Simon. Wow.
You know, I said to Neil Simon. He goes, "I really like your work." I go, "What do I say to you?" You're the prolific playwright of the 1920s or 20. Anyway, he said, "I said,
Yeah.
what do I say to you?" He goes, "Just keep up the good work." And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm not going to put you to sleep. You were fucking wonderful." And then we danced.
Are you good at meeting like your heroes and your idols and stuff like that? Like even when you were younger and starting out?
No, it didn't really phase me that much. It just like the Doctor J, the
Yeah.
basketball
Mhm.
player. He was one that was like he's like up there compared to
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of interesting, like just doing this and being out on the road and meeting comedians and stuff like that. Whenever there's some of them I feel really comfortable around. I think stand up makes you comfortable. being around like other comedians and other kind of famous people like that. But then if I meet a sports figure, I'm like a kid. Or if I meet like somebody that's not in the industry that we're in, I get all like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm doing. It's real weird.
That's most of the other things in your life
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah. Women,
You don't know what to
my
say, you don't know what you
parents,
do.
the bank.
You're
Yeah.
straight? Oh my
Oh,
God. You never
yeah,
know.
yeah. You got competition, Don. That's what I came here to tell you.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh
when
God.
you like, I read the article that they did on you on Just for Laughs, and I got to see, your speech.
Geez, that guy's pretty hard on me,
No,
huh?
I don't think he was hard.
It's like an advertisement instead of a
Right,
journalistic thing, you
right,
know.
right. But I loved what you said about like social media and stuff, and kind of the world of stand up and how it's changed, and what you have to kind of go through, because I'm going through it right now, and it's uh but it's so weird, man, with like follower count and social media presence and all that other shit. Um, but I kind of like everything you said about it kind of resonated with me, because it does seem like if you're talented and you're really, really funny or whatever the deal is, it's not as important as how many followers you have.
It's not. It's a different world, and you know, Bill Burr and Joe Rogan are two. I love those guys, you
Yeah.
know, but they are enormous on anything they do. I mean, I don't know what would have happened to them if they were without that, or a lot of them. And you know, hey, it was just when I was young, the Johnny Carson show was maybe it's too much. They had too much
Hmm.
power. Now nobody has the power. I mean, it's a fair thing. We both have this, and we'll read it to you. We'll sell you
Yeah.
something. Johnny Carson was like, "You did it or you didn't do it." And if you did it, did you get on the couch? Then if you get the couch, did you have one show that you were the MC or
Right.
whatever? You know, then it's on.
Yeah.
It's Cher, right? And the beat goes on. I worked with Cher for like I don't know, all told about 8 years.
Hmm.
That was different, you know. Imagine going from Tappy Bananas to Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
Maroon. Like you got to.
what was that? Did you? I've opened for a couple bands, but not on that level, and it's always death. Did you have fun? Did you get to talk to Cher?
No, she was. Yeah, she was
Oh, that's
great.
nice.
Really, she was really nice to me. I was drinking at the time, and
Mm.
she understood the pain that I was going through. I knew this was going to happen. No, but she was like, "Why? Why do I always break down, even at good things?" I don't want to. I don't want to be confused with a football
Right.
player who cries if he wins or loses. Big baby, big fat muscle bound baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, she was good to work with.
Yeah.
The only one I thought was a bit of a. Nah, I'm not going to put him
No, do
down.
it. This is the show to do it on.
Paul Anka had a little bit of an
Oh, really?
attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked at me like he shook my hand, and I thought he was going to kiss it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like, hey, nice to meet you, Don. Yeah, not it's not my cup of tea. Natalie, her father's a great star. Natalie
Oh,
King,
Natalie.
Natalie,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
She was
Yeah.
great, but she had the talent and all. She had the dancing talent that I have, and the songs, the singers that I am
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Everything's
Yeah,
about
you got it
me.
all, man.
Come back
Yeah,
to
no,
you.
no. Yeah, the singing stuff, man. Opening for those guys, like I feel like that was a cool staple that your group kind of got to have. Like Paul Reiser said he opened for Melissa oh my god, Manchester. And like, but how did those things get set up? Is it because you guys had the same agency, or did they find you?
Uh, I don't know. There was this one guy which I really shouldn't name, and I
Okay.
won't. He was up for it, and I was up for it. My manager said, "Who would you rather have? You know, who would you rather have on the bus?"
Mhm.
Which is 23 miles of 23 hours of the day. The guy says, "Dom's got the gig," because the other guy was so fucking
Really?
annoying. And after this is done, I want you to ask me that if you remember. I'll
I
tell
want
you
to.
who it was. Maybe
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. I'm going to ask you after this is over, because I would definitely want to know who it is. I love that shit. But that's kind of cool, man. Like I've gotten some experience with that, but not enough. It's the landscape has changed so like utterly and completely. Like when I started, they were making us do bringer shows, which I didn't do for long, thank God, because a headliner wound up taking me out.
Yeah.
But like that was terrible. Like they made you bring like if you didn't bring like 15 or 20 people to see you, like you didn't get stage time. And I was like, I don't have 15 or 20 people that want to see me bomb every night in New York. Like that's insane. No one wants that. Yeah,
No, it's embarrassing because you're bringing your fake acts to their people are all fake. He's so hilarious. It's all their friends. It doesn't mean anything.
I was thankful, man. I found a dude who had a DUI, which is great, and I had a car.
Right here, one
Yep.
boom, one
There you
here.
go. And then they were like, he's like, oh, you can drive. And I was like, yeah. So we just started doing road gigs together, and I didn't have to do the bringer shit too much. And I got to go into the city, like at the Improv when it was still around, and then a couple other places if I wanted to. But because I got taken out on the road so much, you know, I just got to learn from him and doing that kind of shit. So that was nice.
I had a bad one. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Oh.
4,000 people, 2,000 were really a good audience, and the other 2,000 hated me more than they hated anything else. And I go out, and I'm barely out there, and they start heckling, and you know, somebody don't throw it near me, like at the top of an ice cream thing. And I go, you know, I say, you know, I'm out of here. The guy gave $250. He goes, great job. I said, I hardly talk. He said, but you know, at least the band's up, took all that stuff. I said, well, I mean, all I do is run across the stage. Can I get a bonus by running back again? We'll be up to $750. It was horrible. But one time with Cher, it was in Dayton, Ohio, and this girl goes, Cher. And I go, listen, you fucking retard. She's not here. She's not even here. She's not even listening. She's taking a bath right now. And they hated me so much. They came to Cleveland, which was the next, and they just to boo me. And Cher didn't care. She didn't get. She was cool.
That's the best, man. When the other artists don't give a shit and they just kind of want to watch you like do whatever you can. They're like, that was great. Yeah. Do you know Ricky Bird from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts? He's a good friend of mine. He loves you, and
tell him I love him.
I will.
Not in a gay way, but just a relaxing, lay on the top of a guy.
Yeah. I want to ask you about Rodney and stuff like that when you started, because you got your I think was it your big break was from Rodney?
Yeah, the
was he as generous to comedians? Special. Was he as generous to? I mean, everybody. He's the one guy I wish I had met. Like he was definitely before, but you know, everybody I know loves him. But they always said that he would like kind of let comedians write for him and buy jokes because he knew they needed rent money. Like, was he that generous?
Yeah, he had a great heart. He says maybe one night, I used to love to stop bullshit after everybody's gone. And he was such an interesting guy, and he's so fucking funny. Mm-hmm. When he's trying to be serious, he's funnier. And he says, "Kid, can I do anything for you? Can I help you?" I said, "We already did. It's really cool being a friend of yours, but you could do me one favor." What's that? I go, close your robe. Pull your robe nice, because I can't stand eating and seeing your perkle little fucking buster balls. And then he doesn't laugh. He goes, "That's very funny. That's very funny." That's him howling laughing. Oh. Very funny. Joe Ancis, he brought me this guy, Joe Ancis, who was the king de la king of comedy critiquers.
Yeah,
you know, and the kid said the same thing. He goes, "You're all right, guy. You know, get in there." Like I made it in some way, mm-hmm. But that was their big compliment. But it was an honor to work with him. I don't know to get Sammy Maudlin on you, but it's like he was just so fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
with these stupid jokes that are made hilarious because the way he delivers it, he had everything.
Yeah,
when you talk about the number of laughs per minute, forget about it. Nobody else.
Right. I mean, even seeing him on Carson, I'll watch those old clips on Carson again, and it's just not like I can't even breathe. It's just nonstop from the time he's doing stand up to the time he's sitting on the couch, and then when he gets done, the best is when you know he's done, because I've never he never chatted casually on those shows, right?
No, he got joke after joke.
Yeah, and then there was one where my friend made me watch it where he's talking to Johnny, and I guess he was just at the time was up, and he goes, "Well, what do you want to do now?" It goes to commercial because there's nothing left. Oh, it's
I
so
was in
good.
one of his last movies. It was called. It was about the winery. He fell in love with this girl when he drank this
Yeah,
wine.
yeah.
The girl would get drunk and he'd fuck her. It was beautiful, beautiful, sentimental scene. He was too old for it, you know.
Yeah.
I remember when his 80th birthday, he was there and he goes, "Hey kid, you want to get fucked up?" I said, "You're supposed to be like a great grandfather at this point. You get fucked up on a Thursday." Oh, it's good shit. It's good shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. There was a this always made me feel good, especially when I started doing stand up when I was younger. Cause I always think of you guys as like never getting nervous. Like you're so like that's the beauty of like somebody who's good at this, right? If you watch them and they're really good at it, you don't notice if they're thinking about shit when they're working on stuff, when they're nervous, when they're excited, whatever it is, right? You just think, good God, that was magic what I just saw.
Oh,
But
I hated the first time. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I want to ask you. So, well, basically, I was watching this thing on Rodney. They did this documentary, and Robin Williams was talking about, still getting nervous. Like everybody, no matter what, you still get that little butterfly in your stomach before you go on. And he said he was at
Yeah.
Dangerfields, and Rodney was about to go on, and he's standing next to Robin, and he goes to Robin, "Look at me, I'm sweating. I own the club." And I just, I just thought that was the best. What was your first time like though?
You got first time what?
You said you hated your first time. Oh no, good.
I hated. They said, and Jim McCauley, who booked me,
Mm,
goes, "Have fun, man." I go, "Fun? I fucking hate this.
right.
I can't wait. You know what I want to do? This is what I did. My wife said, "You want to get something to eat?" I said, "No, I want to go do some stand up." So we went from the Tonight Show to the Comedy Store, and I felt so good to be home again.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was so much pressure.
Right.
Like, you gotta lose. It's like you gotta have 1 second. Oh, that wasn't funny. He's not gonna make the couch this time.
Right. Right.
Well, I'm glad I did it. It was like the imprimatur of a comedy club, comedy, your whole thing.
Yeah, man.
That stamp of approval.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I can't imagine that kind of nerve wracking shit. Because at least in this day, like you can, people have such a short attention span that I feel like you have way more room to, even though it's going to exist on the internet forever, there's so much other shit that pushes it down. Like
Yeah.
where you could kind of fuck up or not be that funny, and then you just put something else out the next day, and people, it's like a mind wipe, like an Etch a Sketch. People just forget as soon as they scroll past you. But I guess back then when you were on the Tonight Show, did anybody like this is stories I never did anybody go on and bomb so badly it ruined their career on the Tonight Show?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Thank you.
I know it really helped Drew.
Oh, Drew Carey
Really
was
helped
amazing.
Roseanne. Roseanne was terrific on
Yep.
it. See, I said them by their first names because I'm so big myself. Mr. Irrera, I used to teach fourth grade. Mr. Irrera, you so nice. You ain't white. You're Italian. Because a lot of the kids hated white people.
Yeah.
It was a very sad thing, but half and half white, half black.
Did you miss the teaching?
Maroon, the kids.
Did you miss teaching when you were doing stand up?
I missed the kids. I had a lot of fun, trying to play basketball with them and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were. I really tried to instill some, some dignity. I wanted them to have high self-esteem.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend the other day about teaching and stuff, and when we were in school, and I don't know if it was like this when you were teaching back then, but they really kind of did. They separated everybody when I was in high school in like 3 different tracks. So they would be the honor students, the second tracks were like, could go either way. And then the third tracks all had their desks facing the wall because they were bad. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
what the, but I was like, it was so weird to me that they would like, like all the honor students, like all the top kids in the class, they would get days off and pizza parties and like the apparatus would have you believe that these kids were going to cure cancer one day. And then, and now I'm like, all they did was move into a cul-de-sac and pop out a few kids and gain weight. Like, where was the brilliance? What was all that free pizza for?
I had this one kid named Teresa Mel Sitter or something like a French ending.
Mhm.
And she said, "Can I ask you something?" I go, "What?" She goes, "Do you think I'll graduate from high school?" I said, Teresa, it's high school. You could be a doctor someday as smart as you are." She goes, "You're kidding?" I go, "No, you're brilliant." And she's a professor now, of course. It turned out so wonderful. But
Nice.
those moments as a teacher, they're powerful. You really made them think good about themselves.
Yeah. When was the point where when you quit your job as a teacher and started doing comedy full time? How did you know?
The hours. I was laying upstairs. Monday Night Football was on,
Hmm.
and I had to go to bed. I'm thinking, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything about money or kids or this. I loved working with the kids, but I hated getting up more than anything. And I would have the kids would wake me up. I've been in the part waiting for the bells to ring,
Mhm.
and I hear, "Mr. Irrera, the bells rung." All right, then I have to go get the wipe off my foam. So that's when I knew. I mean, I was an actor too, but
Yeah.
stand up was always my strong point.
Were your parents cool with what you? Because I guess you had to eventually tell them that you were leaving teaching and then going to do performing and stuff like that. Like, did they have any influence over you in that respect, or were you like, "Hey, mom, dad, I'm doing this," and that's it?
First of all, they were never together
Oh,
when I was born. So thanks a lot for bringing that
it
up.
was.
I knew you were trying to get me to cry. You son of a gun! Whatever that's a gun. So the gun. Oh, don't. That's pretty rotten
Yeah,
talk.
Jesus.
This girl in the neighborhood, she had really big breasts. For some reason, she's walking around like this, and we were such an evil little kid. She go, "How you doing? Hey, nice tits, baby." And she goes, "Oh, go jump in a lake." Hey, man, that's the fight fair, will you? I can't even move. My breathe is.
Even though your parents were separated or whatever, like you never told them like what you were doing with your. They didn't care. They didn't have any impact on it.
No, they really didn't. My father was a Marine,
Mm-hmm.
and so I never saw him even when they got divorced.
Mm.
And my mother worked for, get this, $1.25 an hour, and the money is pouring in. So we live with my grandparents too,
Right.
and my grandmother had gigantic breasts, which I used to check out in the morning.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's my story. Bada boom.
Bada boom, and then the makings of a comedian.
Well, I was always sure that I was going to make something.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't walk around thinking I'm the greatest. Boy, if they find out. But I knew that I had something talent, very little, and every other place, but pretty good in stand up that area.
Mm-hmm.
So I never went into it feeling so great or so wonderful. But I never questioned whether I'd make it. I always thought I would. And it to me is a living and a good life. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld every time.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, do you feel that way looking back though, or do you think like, oh my God, I had no idea what I was doing?
No, by the time I got to stand up, I had already done like TV shows and
Nice.
I did commercials and stuff. So I don't know. I didn't sit there and thinking, boy, am I great, but I just felt that that's what I was built for.
Yeah.
It's my big nose and
It's your
big
calling.
hips.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it, the calling.
Yeah, the calling.
Heidi, get Thank you.
What was your crew like? Your class was, I could be wrong, but was it like Seinfeld, Reiser, Carol Leifer, those guys, or were you a class above them?
I was about behind them in
Oh.
about mostly 1 or 2 years.
Oh wow.
When I went to the comic strip to see them, Jerry Seinfeld was on, Reiser was on, Dennis Wolfberg. I don't know. You
I know
probably don't
Dennis
know him.
Wolfberg. Yeah,
He was really funny.
he's great.
And one girl was Carol,
Okay.
and I guess we didn't have any black acts yet.
Uh-huh.
And Eddie Murphy was, he came into the comic strip in a storm. He was a terrific actor.
Right.
I didn't really like him, but he was good.
As a person or as a comic?
Oh no, as a comic, he's fine because he could imitate really good comics.
Yeah.
Comics. He was great at doing a combination of Bill Cosby and Pryor.
Right.
But he was good and devoted, and He really was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, was that
But I didn't like the way he treated people. You know, he's really a bully.
yeah, I don't like that kind of shit either. I hate that kind of stuff. Were you like a hangout guy? Did you hang out with everybody afterward, or did you kind of go home and after your set?
No, I hung out.
Yeah.
I didn't drink that much until a while, into 15 hours in, 15 years in, rather. I started drinking, and I stopped like about a year ago.
Oh, congrats, man.
That's how I got the slim form that I have.
You look.
My hips.
You're turning me on right now, man. I'm getting a little hot.
No, don't stop it. It's too much. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, they feel like the camaraderie was amazing back then. Like everything I've read, I was such a comedy nerd when I was a kid, and like I had all the books, like Comic Lives and stuff like that. I wanted to be a comedian from like, you know, again, like basically you said you knew you wanted to be a comic, but everything I read about is like all the camaraderie you guys had, all the like hanging out, the late night diner stuff, helping each other write jokes. Do you find that that's the same kind of thing? Like when you go into the clubs now and you see the guys, do you think there's the same kind of?
No, it's not the same because of they could stay home with this thinking a whole career.
Yeah,
Just sitting there by these stuff. You know, we didn't have that.
yeah, it's kind of brutal. Like I think it kills any kind of socializing. You know what I mean? Like even me, like I'm that generation that I still had, VHS, because I was born in '84. So I had, all the cassette tape, VHS stuff. I had to go out. I rode my bikes with my friends. We hung out outside. And then now we were on when I graduated high school was when Facebook and all that shit started coming to the surface. And all my friends and I feel kind of lost because we're just like, no one goes out. No one does anything anymore. Like you don't have to, like, we have each other, but like, I haven't met anybody new. Like I don't know any, nobody hangs out and does that kind of shit, especially in the comedy community.
You have to be on a show to do something to communicate.
Dude, absolutely. That's why I started doing this kind of shit. I was hoping maybe I would make some more new friends and,
I'm so lonely. Maybe I'll do a podcast.
How are you during the pandemic? Did it kind of fuck you up a little bit, or were you just like, I could use
Well, it doesn't take much to fuck me up. So, but my girlfriend and I, we started peaking, getting close to this thing. So by the time we basically were married in all aspects other than in paper because
right.
We were like together. We didn't know what was going to happen. It was a twilight zone.
Yeah.
A lot of people's one fear would be that this little virus is killing our society.
Yeah.
I ate those fucking things for breakfast. I didn't give a shit. Sorry.
You're the cure.
You got a piece of that?
Yeah.
I'm the cure.
Oh man. Was there a point in your career when you were doing stand-up and you're on the road where you felt comfortable enough, like you had made it? Like do you have anything in your mind where you're like, I can point to this and say that I was financially secure and successful?
Well, the Dangerfield thing gave me instant risability or however you would call it. It's like,
sure.
I go into Atlanta and I open the door and I can't get in the club. I go, what the fuck? What's going on? And the guy goes, you do. You're what's going on.
Wow.
So I didn't even know that they knew me. They knew me from that one night.
Right.
7 minutes and all that,
Mm-hmm.
And I got this hat and I bought the shirt with that and I was a happy man. I always skipped instead of walked.
Oh my God. Well, you know what the craziest thing is you told me, I didn't even realize that you were an actor first before you were a comedian. So doing that whole trajectory.
He must have seen some of my performances. What were you gonna say?
No, but like I know that like the trajectory for most comics was like, do stand up long enough to get recognized to then get a sitcom. Did you care about that?
Not enough,
Okay.
but I actually, if I had my choice, I'd be in an improv group than doing solo stand up.
Oh wow.
I like it, or I like working with people.
Yeah.
I'm not tennis. I'm basketball. I like having being like a point guard.
Yeah, man, I get it. I loved when you were doing your podcast at the Laugh Factory. I used to watch that all the time, and I loved watching you go back and forth with all those guys.
Yeah, the really funny one is Bill Burr with me and Jamie Masada.
Yep.
I was crying laughing. Bill's so fucking funny. I was crying laughing.
He is the fucking best, man. He is so good. When I first was starting out, he was hosting one of the shows I was on at Caroline's, and the rest of us were backstage, and we all looked at each other like, "What is the point? Like what? Like just let him keep going. This is fucking great. What do they want to see me for?" And it was in the beginning.
Well, he doesn't want to see you. Actually, he told me that before I came in tonight.
I believe it. Like,
well, you know, they always ask. This is one thing that people don't get. You know, who's your favorite comedian? I said, who's the strongest comedian? I said, well, it's relative, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave Chappelle, he takes his time. He says, but he's got his thing. My friend Jonathan Katz, you know that Dr. Katz show.
I know him very well. Yeah, he's been on the show.
Well, you know, he was so fucking funny. But like my ex-wife, she would not laugh at Robin Williams, who was brilliant, but Jonathan, you know, she loved.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah, Robin was like my gateway into comedy when I was a kid, because I didn't really know what stand-up was, but when I was younger, I saw Mork and Mindy reruns, and
you like to party, huh? You like to party?
Yeah. I was a big stay-at-home kid. I was real popular. I had the braces and the fucking flat hair and shit. Yeah, I had and like Fern Gully when he did the voices, but I was like, oh my god, like this guy's hilarious. And then I found out that, I don't know, I was just up late one night and I saw him at the Rainbow Suspenders on some show doing stand-up, and then I started looking into everybody else who did I didn't know what stand-up was, but I was like, oh my god, this guy fucking does it. So, you know, he was always one of my favorites.
I didn't realize how much you had. I'm sorry?
He was always one of my favorites.
I didn't know that the guys did the same words every night.
Oh.
Like, I thought they went up there and they just improvised 40 minutes, turned to 30 minutes,
right.
And that was they go to the next. When we went to see these guys, probably like Jerry and Paul and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's doing the same shit. I thought it was funny last night, and then I realized how hard it was, and you had very difficult even to get that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. How much of your stuff do you like to improvise when you're on stage?
If I can, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
but yeah, if I can risk something, then I don't mind. But of course, I'd rather everything getting hit out of the park, but that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, but I've seen we worked together like 4 times. I know I'm a very memorable. I look completely different than I did when we worked together, but it's fine. But
I hope so.
Oh yeah,
young man.
I just never cut it from I just started doing this, and I was like, whatever. But yeah, I saw when we were at Bananas, you got really playful with the audience, more so than I think when we were in Long Island. And then we were at Chicago at the Laugh Factory. You had got me in there, and
wow.
And yeah, you're very nice. I know it's. I'm not saying that you don't remember, but you were very cool to me. So I was always very grateful to you for being that nice, because you didn't need to be, and you didn't know me, and but I was a young buck, and I wanted to do some stuff, but. Yeah, you were playing around a couple times, like in between some stuff, and I was always like I didn't see you do it too often, but when you did it, man, you were fucking just looked like you were having a ball.
Especially those two are my favorite clubs.
Yeah,
but except Bananas, they kept moving.
I know.
Hey, this is nice. They lost their lease. You know, they're at a Holiday Inn. I said, I know it's hard to find us, but where we will be.
Yeah,
you know.
I did Denise's retirement show. Denise is a very good friend of mine. I love Denise.
She's got Steve Schaefer used to go, what an ass, huh? She got the most beautiful. I said, Steve, you know, calm down. Look at that ass. You're gonna tell me that is not a perfect ass?
It's true. It's so true. Oh my god. Yeah, she's the best, and she retired. She's not doing it anymore. And we did her retirement.
I know. I heard. Yeah. She was one of my favorite people.
Yeah, she was the one who let me, when I was like 4 years in, she let me open for Jimmy Fallon, and then after that. I got to open for all the national, like they would just call me all the time if there was somebody big coming in, which was nice. Those guys were always extremely nice. Did you see did you start primarily? I know you were in Philadelphia, and I know you were in New York and stuff like that, but you're talking about the Comedy Store. Do you consider one of those club, like a comic strip, comedy store, or catch, like a home club for you?
Your Honor, may I answer that question another time? Why would I like to cut off a third of my living?
That's true. No, I mean, like, it must be like not now, but let's say like when you were younger, when was there some place? Because I know there was that war between the Comedy Store and the Improv.
Yeah, that was before me. My improv group. We were rehearsing on the roof of 56th and 10th.
Oh,
And they go, Dom, look at this, and it said like one of the comedian who jumped off the roof,
yeah, terrible.
And I thought, wow, it's a rough place to do stand up, huh? I did a TV show a couple of years ago about that, but it didn't really cover it like it should have been.
The Mike Binder.
Called, I'm dying up here.
Oh, right.
Wasn't Mike Binder's thing?
No, yeah, I remember I'm dying up here.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Well, we thought it had potential, but the Oscar-winning main forget her name. Her against the press producers, so it was condemned. It was condemned to not go on.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Jim Carrey just gave me the part.
Oh, he did.
So they came to see young hot comics, which I'm not, and I'm hot. But he just said, just give him the part.
Nice.
I thought, what the fuck? He says, I know Dom. He wasn't going to dance for me anyway.
Right.
And he said, I don't want that. And he'd be busting my balls about it. Oh, Mister, you have quite the eye, Mister.
Do you still talk to the guys that you started with, like your improv troupe?
A little bit. Well, Michael Patrick King.
Oh, Sex and the City.
Writers. He's like a big. He's gay, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knew he was gay. When he came into a room, he flittered or did something, ballerina. And he was, I loved him. He's like my little brother.
Right.
He did well. Lisa Mendy was the one who on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Jerry, the baby.
Yeah.
And everybody got something. Our pianist played for Broadway for years. We had a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Oh, and I had to go away, so Bruce Willis auditioned for my part, and I got another guy. Bruce and I were already buddies. He was a bartender.
Oh, wow.
About a block away from the Improv. But the other guy, Tom Saunders was his name, and he got the part, and Bruce Willis didn't get it. I said, you didn't book Bruce? They go, no, Tom was funnier. All right.
Wow.
Because I was out of that. Can you imagine? Before $1 billion later. Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
That's the craziest thing, man. It's like, especially in this industry, a TV show or a movie will come out and all the press will be about how this particular movie or TV show did it different. And that's why it's so successful. The critics love it. The audience loves it. And they'll be like, well, what's the secret? And it's like, well, we just let the comedians and the talent have the control. They wrote what they wanted. They had creative control, and the industry kind of backed away from it. And then they'll be like, cool, are you going to do it again? And they're like, no. Like we're going to go with all our IPs again. And look at the Barbie movie, man. Like, they let Greta Gerwig direct it. It's $1 billion movie. Margot Robbie, a female lead, and now they're basically the company that made that movie is like, oh, cool. Are you going to do more like female directed, like male, like what are female led movies? And they're like, no, we're doing Matchbox Car, the movie, Rock'em Sock'em Robot. Like, they're making all Mattel toys. And they're like, how did you miss the point? It's not the toys, you idiots.
It's all changed. Now the really good actors are in the Showtime and HBO.
Yeah.
And the kids, all explosion. They're the big ones. They're the block boys. How do you say it?
Yeah.
How do you kids say it? Jonathan Katz told me to. He goes, break a leg tonight. My grandmother goes, Spangul, you should break a leg. She didn't get that it was a saying of joy and luck.
Oh my God! I was born in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn on 40th Street, Fort Hamilton Parkway. I was born in Monteith Hospital. Where's your family primarily from?
I didn't have a family.
That's not what it says.
Woe is
What would I have
me.
written down in your bio?
I don't.
Like, where do you think you got your sense
My
of humor
mother
from?
thought she was funny, but she wasn't. But she'd come home from work. I killed tonight at work. They were all I had the whole floor laughing. She says, "I got that from you, you know." I said, "Mom, you're not as funny as me. Leave me alone. Give me my cinnamon toast, Mom." One of my first jokes was my father left home. He didn't cheat on my mother. He used to cheat on us. We'd pick up the kids after school, take them to the zoo. One day he came here. He goes, "I got to live with you. I met another kid, and for the first time in my life, I feel like a real father." That was I wrote that at. I was doing one of those afternoon things.
Yeah.
It was like the biggest soap opera. Yeah,
Oh, Days of Our Lives?
yeah, Days of Our Lives. And that's what I wrote that. That's how bored I was.
Are you the type to sit down and write material like at a certain time of day? Are you regimented, or do you kind of work it out on stage?
On stage mostly. I'm
Nice.
terrible. So, like Woody Allen's thing was you sit there all day and something will come to you. Sometimes it
Yeah.
don't come, you know. I gotta say, well, it's really been fun. I'm not that it's done for me, but I'm not going to travel as much. But I really do feel good about it. You know, it's like and that the article capitalized how bad it was, how like, just I don't know. I almost cried that it made me so like when I was at they had Russell Peters.
Yeah, of course.
He asked me to be on a show, and the crowd was like jumping around before I even said anything. I
Wow.
thought it was just like it was really very heavy, but I didn't want to act like a football player, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mama.
But yeah, it had to be emotional. And you said you're feeling good about it and everything, man. But like, do you really consider yourself, as far as everything else, done? I mean, you still got your wits about you. You're still fucking hilarious. You know, do you think there's any other avenues you'd want to take?
No.
Like that? What if you did more of this? What if you did more interviews and stuff like that, but just from home and like shot the shit with your friends?
Yeah, I would. I mean, you know, I was with Rogan from the top of this whole thing, and I have not that I had any credit. I was Joe's pool player buddy, you know, but
Nice.
he had a sense of it more than I did. Plus, he likes
Right.
to he likes to talk more. I don't like to do 3 and 4 hours. I like to do an hour and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah.
the same. Yeah, that's what these shows are, basically just an hour. But he does get in kind of in depth. What do you think of like how comedy is evolved? I mean, is it amazing to you how the way it's evolved, and like now we do have like these podcasters. Joe Rogan's got a podcast. Theo Von's got his podcast. Bill Burr's got his. Like, I mean,
Where would
comedians
it
have
be
always been
without
kind of.
them? Where would it be without the?
Exactly. They're carrying the fucking industry, and everybody. I don't know if it's like, I mean, I guess it's just the nature of the press. Like, it's this cyclical animal where they're just constantly getting shit on. But I feel like the negative shit has got to end at some point, right? Or is it,
Yeah, you would think something monumental will come up that closes them down.
yeah, exactly. But it keeps fucking going. It's insane. But yeah, those, like, I don't know, man. I mean, they've really, like, even Tim Dillon. Do you know Tim Dillon?
I met him. It's funny because he was really excited to meet me. I go, really? Why? But anyway, he was like, I think he's
Absolutely.
really funny. I think he's brilliantly
Yeah.
funny. But he's not a good improv guy. He's not the guy you want next to somebody. He's a guy you should be right at one camera. He's so
Yep.
fucking funny. Just that's it. You know, because he gets stifled by other guys trying to chip in. It's just not his thing. But in
Right. Right. Right.
improv, when a lot of people doing it. So,
Improv is a crazy skill on its own. I mean, like, I've done shows at improv theaters and stuff like that where I've seen them ask other comedians to come on, and it's kind of funny watching a comic try to do that kind of thing, like switch because we're so used to being by ourselves all the time. But it does feel good to have someone else to fall back
oh
on,
yeah,
and just to work as a group and a team. Do you ever get to did you ever get to do and dabble in improv anymore?
last time was really to name drop like with Robin Williams and a guy named Rick Overton, and we would do things like a
Oh yeah, I know Rick.
catch and the comic strip and the improv in those days before the Comedy Cellar even.
Wow.
So yeah, but I never do it anymore.
Do you think you'll still act?
If I get offered something, I'm not going to go like The last thing I did that was worth any money was Arnold. Wait, something Arnold. Hey Arnold. That's
Oh,
it.
Hey Arnold.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember you were in Hey Arnold.
that was like really a good gig. I mean, it was good money, good fun. If I got something like that, I love doing that.
Yeah.
The
No,
director
you.
was so, he goes, all right, dude, just do whatever the fuck you want now. He goes, we got it down, just go crazy. And that made some of the best material.
How did you get into the voice acting stuff?
Just them seeing me do stand up.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't have to run. As long as I don't have to dance for them, I'm okay.
No, but you got the perfect voice for it, man. I mean, it like one, it's recognizable, but two, it's got this familiarity quality to it. That's another thing too that I think they used to do brilliantly when I was a kid. Like they would take Hollywood actors, like top of their game, and put them in kids' cartoons or movies,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would recognize the voice when you were a kid and want to watch them. I think in like old, like if I was watching a movie with my parents, I would recognize the guy's voice.
Right.
And I would just be like, I know that, like, it's this familiarity thing that I think is like pretty brilliant the way they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they meant to, but it works for me because I remember like hearing your voice and then seeing it come out of you doing stand up when I was able to watch that kind of stuff, and I was like, that's the fucking guy from
Yeah,
like
right.
the cartoon I watch every day.
I know. I
I'm like,
know
that's
that.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. See, remember that? That's that Edward G. Robinson thing. Where's your
Yeah,
Moses
yeah,
now?
yeah,
See,
sure.
right? It's just for fun. I had the audience going. I said, "Don't laugh if it's something you like. Just go, yeah, that the kid's funny, see." And I had the whole audience doing it. It was so fucking fun. And I
Oh,
said,
that's
"This is
great.
one impersonation you can all do." This girl goes, oh, "I can't do it." She's like a little Asian girl, beautiful. I said, "Yeah, you can do it. They can all do it." She goes, "Come on, let's try." She goes, "Ah, sure." That's perfect. She goes, "That was crazy." I said, "But we want that." And the kids were laughing. It was just so fucking good. Now that was
Yeah,
spontaneous. I don't have a thing in my act to go do a 1940s movie guy. Ah,
right.
see,
Yeah, yeah,
you
sure.
see,
I was watching.
even you could do it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I was watching the Dick Van Dyke Show the other night, and Alan Reed, the dude who does the Fred Flintstone, was an auctioneer in the episode. But
Wow.
I didn't realize it at the time. But I'm watching the episode. I love that show. It's so great. Um, but yeah, the guy's voice when he was doing it, I'm like, why do I know this guy? And then I did a quick IMDb thing, and it was the guy who voiced Fred Flintstone, Alan Reed, and he looks just like Fred. It's weird.
He was supposed to be like the Jackie Gleason in the cartoons.
Right, right. Didn't Jackie sue them?
I don't know. I don't know if he did him, but that was Norton and
Yeah,
the two of
Mel
them.
Blanc.
Oh, Mel Blanc was a real genius, huh?
Yeah, Mel Blanc did Barney Rubble's voice. Yeah.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah. He did Barney Rubble's voice, and he tried to make it a little bit more like Norton's, he said, about from what's his name? Art Carney's voice a little bit as it went on. I think Jackie Gleason tried to sue the Flintstones initially because he didn't understand. Like he thought they were just straight ripping them off.
Oh,
And then he was like, this is, I should be getting royalty or whatever. But then he kind of got the joke and got the idea, and he was like, all
yeah.
right, fuck it, I'll leave him alone. I didn't know for the longest time that Bugs Bunny was supposed to be Clark Gable, by the way, and I'm a
No,
little
I
ashamed.
didn't know that either.
Yeah, he's supposed to be. It was in the, because you ever see the movie with oh my god, it's like One Night Out or something like that. Clark Gable, and he's chewing on a carrot, and he literally says, "What's up, Doc?"
All right.
And he bites on the carrot, and just from that thing, Mel Blanc took it and like Friz Freeling, and they drew Bugs Bunny, and that was it.
Nancy Murray, who was Bill Murray's sister. We went to college together,
Oh
and
wow,
yeah, she was. I mean, she was a nun, but she was fucking hilarious. And she
right.
said to me, she goes, "I can't wait till you meet my brothers, and they're gonna love you." So I'm up at Saturday Night Live a couple of years later. I go up to Bill Murray.
Hmm.
I go, "Look, I just want to tell you, I'm a good friend of your sister, and just want nice to meet you. Nice to finally, you guys are great, and I love your brother." And you know what he said?
What?
Nothing. He didn't fucking say a word to me. What a disappointment. At least if he said, "Excuse me,
Wow.
I'm busy right now." Nothing. Like I didn't exist.
Oh,
And I know he's good. I'm not gonna make him bad but what a sad. They hated him in Kilkenny. You don't
Really?
get hated. Kilkenny's one of those little cities that people all love each other.
Yeah.
He managed
Wow.
to had too much on them. You know, he was like such a fucking nut, but
Damn, man.
in a bad way. Let's end the show
That's so
right there on that negative note. And,
I was gonna say we should keep going with Hollywood negative stories.
no,
Like, isn't that crazy though? You meet people so like honestly, like most of the comics I've met, like yourself and Kevin Pollak and people I've gotten to work with, really nice, right? Like for the most part. Then you always meet some random one, and you're like, are they in a mood today? Like, are they just pissy? And then you find out they're always like that. And I'm like, how do you do that to people? Like, I can't not be like polite, like, you know what I mean? Like, you ever get off the phone with somebody and they don't say, okay, goodbye, nice talking to you or
yeah.
whatever, and they just go, and you're like, what did I do? Like what the fuck is that? That shit drives me crazy, man. I think it's the Italian in me probably too. I probably feel guilty if I don't, like, make sure the other person's taken care of. Like, everything good? You good? All right, great. It's good talking to you. See you later. People will just hang up on you now.
I was on what's the lady, the three women, Betty White,
Oh yeah.
something girls,
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls, and
B. Arthur.
yeah,
Rue
I called her
McClanahan.
Bo by mistake. Right, I'm down to getting a bag, and she walks down. And I go, hey, how you doing, Bo? She goes, it's B, darling. So I was like scared of her. Oh my god.
What was the most starstruck you've ever been?
Geez, that's a good question. Well, before I was friends with Charles Barkley, which we've had a friendship for a long time. He
Wow.
was like, but he was funny, so it wasn't that much of a challenge. I don't know. It's a good.
Right.
I don't really have anybody that like impressed me. I'm impressed by their talent, but
Sure.
I mean, the thing is, it's a funny thing. That's one of the things about being a comedian is you don't have to have anything special, like your nose, your whatever. It doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
you can talk, so there's a potential that you could be a comedian. Some of the things people do, you can't do. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't see Michael Jordan coming from the foul line and dunks the ball. You can't go, I could do that. No, you can't. You can't even fucking you can't even touch the rim. You can't touch the net.
Yeah, yeah.
Help me with this. I don't know where I'm going. Come on. Is this thing
You were
on?
you were you're killing me. You were saying about being a comedian, like you don't have, like, there's certain things that I know. I think I know what you're saying. There's certain stuff, like if you're a basketball player, there's like, you got to be able to dunk, you got to be able to do this. But for a comedian, you just have to be like, yourself. You have to strip everything else away until you're you and be funny. I think that's where you were going,
You
right?
talking to me personally?
Yeah, just you. Yeah,
Everything's
that's it.
about my thing.
I'm telling you, you're gonna make it one day in this business if you stick
Keep
with
it
it.
going. Keep it coming.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. I want to ask you the last 3 questions I've asked every guest on the show.
Yes, no,
And then I will, and then I will, yeah, yes, and then I'm gonna. So, first question's a bit of a softball question, but if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what piece of advice would you give yourself that would help you today?
Stop jerking off. Go outside and get some fresh air.
Wait, could you imagine you right now at this age taking a time machine and finding 5-year-old you and just grabbing you by the shoulders and going, "Stop jerking off"?
You little bastard.
Yeah, yeah. You would scar that kid for life. He would never touch his dick again.
Ugh.
Oh my god, that'd be horrifying, hilarious. Second question is, what had to end in your life, good or bad, that led you to where you are today?
Oh God.
I know it's a doozy.
Can I hear that again?
Yeah, what had to end in your life, good or bad, that led you to where you are today?
I guess cheating on my wife. I
Oh
knew you'd
wow.
get it out of me. I knew you'd get that out of me.
Yeah, I know. I get
I'll
it.
never
That's how
do
I
that
do it.
again. Because I
Yeah.
can't. I can't even get a whore now.
I thought I had you.
Yeah. I don't need the money
No,
that bad. Thanks anyway.
yeah. Was that a pivot? Was that a pivotal moment for you? Was that like a wake up call though?
No, I just don't. Honestly, I can't think of a momentous moment like that changed my life completely.
Right.
I mean, I've learned
Yeah, it
from
could be good or
people,
bad.
but I can't say
What'd you say?
one thing was significant. So ruin that.
Right.
Get that fucking question out of there. Let's go back to the.
It's gone. What at and the last question ties into the show. It's you can don't be model. You know what's crazy? I'll tell you right now. You're the only one I'm going to say this to. I'll ask this question, and in the beginning, people were funny with it. They were having a good time with it. They were playing around, and then somewhere in the middle of these 200 something episodes, people got really sappy with me about the last question. And I was like, God, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck's going on? Maybe you can help me fix it. But the last question is this: if this was a genuine dystopia, the show's called Dystopia Tonight, more so than it is now, and everybody woke up tomorrow and found out it was their last day on Earth, what do you think would be going on? Do you think it'd be a comet, aliens, zombies, political collapse, climate change? And how would you want to go out? What would be your epic way of leaving your final day?
Isn't that more than one
Yep.
question?
It might, well, yeah, it might be more than one. I think what would be going on? Well, what do you want to happen?
Well, I don't
How do
want
you think the
anything
Earth
to
is going to
happen
end?
to mankind in the sense that I see all those glaciers melting now and all. I think
Hmm.
like some of the terror that this is a good way to end any kind of any kind of show that's supposed to be funny. And their faces and their heads are blowing up, and the mom tried to say I love you, but the kid blew away into the storm. Um, I almost failed. Are you look? You're having me laughing. Um, what's the question? I'm a fucking idiot. See,
I said, if you woke up tomorrow and you found out it was the genuine dystopia, and there was like a comet heading to what would be happening? Do you think? And how would you want to go out? You're gonna uppercut an alien. You're gonna fight your way out. You're gonna eat the best meal of your life. You're gonna.
I want to get in. I want to get in the Beatles,
Oh
and
yeah,
I want a guy. I went to Beatles like McCartney and Lennon, going, yeah, that's one. I'm pretty. He's sure the one.
yeah.
And I got to go up to him and go, how you guys wanted me? Dom Irrera, big fans of yours. And I love your stuff, and we'd like you to join us. I go, well, I don't really sing. We don't give a fuck. Just be up there. You're so funny.
That's
Oh, all right,
that's
thanks.
beautiful,
But
man.
I'll be, because I had a dream like that about Bruce Springsteen, because I know the guys in his band.
Hmm.
I don't know him well. I've been introduced to him. And in the dream, he goes, Dom, the guys want you to join the group. I said, I'm not a musician. He goes, I don't give a fuck. We're not musicians either. This is in the thing, and I said, all right, I'll do it, I think I wanted to raise that dream to reality would be the Beatles asking me to join them.
Oh, nice, man. I love that.
Now you wait. Now you get with two's left. Now you never going to offer for with the full Beatles. What do you
Yeah.
say?
Have you met them before?
No, I'll tell you the thing about that. I go into this restaurant in L.A. and
Hmm.
I had the cap on. This is Hollywood Police, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I had the Beatles on, and this little cute little waitress, or who's the girl who's seating us. She goes, "Is this okay?" She goes, "That's a cool hat. Where'd you get it?" I said, "They gave it to me." Like the Beatles gave me the hat. She
Right.
went, "Cool," and just walked away. Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. Dude, thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. You're one of my heroes, and you were always nice to me when I was young and coming up, man. So I can't thank you enough for that.
Well, my pleasure. It's nice meeting you, re-meeting you.
Yeah.
Let me see some old pictures so I recognize you. I can't believe we did it. I'm glad I was nice to you. Then you trapped me on this chair 30 years ago, going, here's what else you fucking said to break a kid's heart. You'll never make it, and if you do, they'll probably stop comedy. So anyway, I'm
Wait a
glad it
minute.
was nice.
You know what? Hang on one second. I'll pull a picture up from when, because I do have pictures of us when we were hanging out. And the funny thing is literally every time we have seen each other, um, you have, just like in the beginning when you got into this room, fucked with me about my hair, because I didn't have this much hair then, but I still had like a lot of hair. And one of the things you said to me was, even when I had hair, I didn't have that much hair. It's just like, and
It's
then
true.
the second time you saw me, you went, "Fuck you and your hair." What the fuck? Every
Wow.
time. It's beautiful. I'll pull up the picture right now, man. It always used to crack me the fuck up because you would always have something to say about it. And I'm like, and you would, and then another time you said, if you ever fucking cut your hair, I'll come after you.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit. All right. I think, which is nice because when I met Pat Cooper, he yelled at me for having long hair. Look at you.
I
You're a
liked
nice
him, but he
Italian
was-
boy. What are you doing? Cut your hair. Pot it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a bit strict with the world.
Oh, yeah.
I liked him, but he could have been a lot more loving and successful if he just was a little more you know what I mean? He was
No, I know what you mean. Yeah,
why alienate Howard Stern? He's got so much fucking power. Just shut up if you don't like. Don't tell him, don't go after people like that. This is the wrong person. He's got worldwide listeners.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. I'm not sure. Sometimes I see people doing that, and I'm like, don't they have friends that are calling them like, dude, you're fucking up. like you're out of
Shut
control.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, don't you have people around you? People who care about you? Your family? A showbiz buddy? What the fuck? It's so, like, oh my god, I don't know if you follow any of this kind of shit, but man, Britney Spears is getting divorced from her husband, from that dude, right? And they only got married after she got freed from her conservatorship or whatever. So I'm like, oh my god, like this guy's gonna get all that fucking money you just got back,
Wow.
but I'm like, I don't know. But then she just bought a stripper pole and now she's dancing on Instagram on it. I don't fucking know, dude. I wish I had half the money people fucking wait. I think I'd be happier. I'm not sure. I think I would be, or it'd help at least. I'm not 100%. Sometimes I think about that. I don't know why I just turned this into a therapy session. Dom, can you help me out? Like, I'm not.
How can you be helped out?
I don't know. I always
Bing. Okay, thank you.
Next, click. My seat just drops. I'm like, how did he do that? They're like, you don't know. Dom's got access to everything.
That's right.
He's all right. I'm pulling up this picture that obviously took way too long.
It looked familiar, but I don't even. My head was that fat. Look how fat. Oh, it's still the same. Shit.
It was great, man. That was at Bananas. That was one of the last times I was with you at Bananas. And then I have another picture from Governors, and then I have another one from Chicago.
I don't remember the Chicago day very well, but the Governors I love.
Yeah, Governors is a blast.
I love those places.
That was one of the. You know what? Can I tell you right now too? This is me just. You'll get used to hearing this kind of shit anyway, because But one of the coolest things for me when I got to work with you at Governors, it was the first time I'd gotten to open for you, but you treated me like an equal, like a comic. Like it wasn't like I was just we never met, but I got to go backstage and I was a little nervous because I never met you before. You don't know how somebody's going to be that you've seen on TV their whole lives. But we sat in the back and you just asked me where I was working, the gigs I had, and then we started watch TV, and then we just started talking about the Beatles and how much we loved the Beatles. And I told you I'd take my mom to go see McCartney every year for her birthday and all the times I've seen him and stuff. And so you treated me, like an equal. And I walked away that weekend because I think I was still doing part-time jobs too, but I was like, that feels really good. It was nice.
Good. Well, thank you for having me on.
Yep. Thanks for doing it, dude.
I'll see you again. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Dystopia tonight.